real quick. Just gotta do a check. Make sure I am live. All right, everybody, we are live. I don't want to have any echoes. I know the audio is coming through perfectly fine. Let me open up my phone so I can make sure that everyone hears me. And I will edit this out for all of the people that are going to join in a little bit later. Hold on. Switch users. Actually, I don't need to switch users. I could just look you up. FTP. And listen in. All right, so everyone can hear me. What is up, everybody? It is DC Dark Cloud Sun, and this is going to be a very different type of review. This is going to be a live review. So this is basically my review of Astral Chain. I already went through the game. I did not do. Let me turn on some stuff. I recorded some things, but hold on. Let me turn on the audio a bit. That should be good. Yeah, so I recorded some gameplay, but one of the things I've always had an issue with when it comes to review is you have all of these data, you have all this data, and you basically have to combine it in like a few minutes to talk about some things. And then there's a lot of things that end up becoming missing, like specific things like tutorials, walking around, how to fight, how to use the weapons, different types of weapons, different types of legions. Just in general, what is the layout of the actual game? Things of that nature. So what I'm gonna do for this review is basically give you all a tour of the Neuron Station. But before I do that, so this game based on you basically create your own character. You start out with twins. You have Akira, and then you have what's it called? You have Howard, which is my main character. You're basically a set of twins, and the twins basically they go out into their first battle, and you meet who's called Yusuf, which is basically the main person, the main protagonist uh, of the game. He basically creates these legions, and the legions themselves basically go through and show you specific things. Um, so you randomly go into this battle. You're about to lose these battles because you meet what's called chimeras, and meeting these chimeras, you what's it called? You can't see them. So you get these legions, and the legions basically can. Once you are now attached to the legions, you can now basically see the legions. I mean the chimeras, and also fight with the legions. You're also later on equipped with something called Iris. Iris is basically like your. It basically shows you what's going on, where everything is, and if you point anything on data, you could basically find the person, see things about them, their age, blood type, and things like that. So it's kind of like an AI system that helps you out. So you basically pick your character, you design your character. The customization is pretty good. One of the things I want to show off real quick is the locker. So within your locker, you can adjust your character, design him however you want. You could even change your hairstyle. Let me go to hairstyle real quick. Hold on, back out. You could change your hairstyle. You could change the different hairs. Well, I got a hat on. You could change your hair color. You could change your eyes, iris, face type. All the things that you want to do, you can literally do. Eye color, you can even customize. And then there are other things that you can unlock later on down the line. And basically, even if you get like a costume, you can go ahead and edit out that costume and change specific things. Like if I want to wear a full chest plate, I can. I could take some of my uniform on. And while I'm there, I could change my pouches, take off of specific things. You could put on a hat, take off a hat. It's all up to you. And you have a lot of things that you can switch from. Now, a lot of these things you unlock throughout the game by doing missions, or what no review site has talked about is if you go over here, you have orders. Once you complete orders, you get specific things. So one of the cool things that you get is if you look down at the bottom right where it says rewards, it tells you the things that you can unlock by doing these things. You have combat stuff. You can, you know, the amount of times you collect these things or defeat these specific type of enemies, you get these rewards. You have collections, basically collecting all the things that basically you can find within the games, whether it be chests, whether it be I don't know, killing a monster, or whether it be basically obtaining their cores with a finishing move. You can do a lot of things to actually get more gear. And also, one of the most important things no one talks about is taking photos of specific characters in the game unlock specific things in order to give you better filters and whatever else. So I like that. One of the other things is your Legion. You can upgrade your Legion. As you can see, I've been spending a lot of time upgrading my Legion. So you can upgrade your Legion. You have a skill tree, and I'm not going to show off what all the things are, but within those things, you need platinum material codes to basically unlock these things, as well as common material codes, as well as rare material codes. And you get those by fighting monsters, completing quests, and depending on your rating at the end of the actual fight or how many times you've actually died. I played this game in PT Standard, and now I'm playing in PT Standard, PT Ultimate. I didn't play the game in regular stand because I wanted to unlock more things. So those are just some of the things that you need to unlock. But also at the same time, you can choose between what you want to unlock. You can upgrade your legions. I have all five of them. My favorite legion so far is the Axe Legion. That's why he's maxed out. He gives a lot of things, including healing, gives you shields depending on fighting, and I'll show you that stuff as I go through. So for instance, instead of you also have assigning skills. So you unlock these skills by going down the skill tree. There's a little video that shows you what the each actual thing does once you assign it. You have two assigned slots per legion, and some have more things unlocked than the others. You also have abilities. So abilities are cores and things that you find on the floor that you can attach your legion with. Now, if you go through the actual Legion skill tree and you upgrade, you get these things that you unlock that gives you more ability slots. I have a total of 6 on this Legion, so some things take up 2 to 3 slots. You see on the bottom right-hand corner where it says burst, call burst plus 30. It shows that I can use 1 slot for this. These are the things, the effects that it gives, and there's just a lot of cool things about it. Some of them take up 2 slots. Some of them take up 3. So I would basically be missing out on a few other things. So you basically get to play your character, your Legion, however you want, which I personally love. So your Legion is super important. For instance, this Legion, he also heals. He's got critical damage. He's got call bursts. And then on top of that, I increase his speed. So there's just so much things to your Legion. And one of the things that no one else also talks about is your Legias terminal. So in your Legias terminal, you can do maintenance or change the way your color of your legion looks. Maintenance is important. These these purple materials that you find on them are negative matter that basically increases the weight of your legion. So you kind of have to basically hover over and clean that up. And once he's cleaned up, he can now less weight and he can attack more. If you keep hitting the wrong spot, they get upset. And you got to do this to all your legions, the ones that you use the most. You can tell by the ones I use the most is the ones that are dirty or carry the weight on them. So what happens if you don't is your legion becomes extremely heavy, and they don't attack as much as they want. You also have color customization. You have your default color slot, and you can find more, and then they have different color slots so you can make your own or edit your own. I just leave that alone. I kind of like the way they look normally. But going forward is, if you hit X, you can also just basically sneak around without running through the elevator. So you have your training room. Within the training room, you could do training. You have your Legai station there. You can learn how to do specific moves. You have Lappy, and basically you do all of these different types of training, sparring. If you wanted to like practice with a specific legion and get specific attacks down right, you definitely want to go here. Um, Last thing I want to show before I get back to the story and show like a mission or just the actual graphics of the game is spending your material wisely, because you also have to upgrade your character. Your character has a list of things that he needs. Those premium material codes, you also need them here to upgrade, as well as commander skill locks. unlocks. So you got to finish missions and get, let's say, S rank. You can't be getting B ranks, or you won't be able to upgrade your command skill unlock. Basically, that's your actual if you could get these upgrades. So you yourself have to be skillful in order to get material, and then on top of that, you have to unlock them by completing files, chapters within the game, in order to unlock more materials and stuff, and being able to upgrade. So you definitely want to be able to use, like, premium material cores are very important if you want more endgame stuff. So yeah, that's important too. But also, you can go to this guy right here, and he can basically, what he does is he tells you, explain your Legion menu, assigning skills, all of those things there. Co-op, co-op is horrible in this game. Don't ever use it. The way co-op works is you cannot be in PT standard. You have to be in just regular standard mode. And what happened is you give someone the Joy-Con and they control your Legion while you control the character. To be honest, it's more of a headache than an actual thing. Um, if you go here, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So you can buy also, like, frags. You could purchase, like, different type of things, stun gun, time bombs, but you can sell things. Your salvage items, you could sell all of it. It's all there just for you to make money. The only thing you don't want to throw away is cat food. Later on down the game, you get what's called, you unlock a specific room, Max's safe house, because there's a lot of cats all over the game, and you want to help these cats out by basically getting them out of, like, negativity. So you get cat food, and you can basically feed them. If you unlock specific things, or you get specific items. Like, I just basically got an item. What did I get? I got, there we go. Convert. I have much better things. But you have different parts of the game. You can go down to the garage. Show you around the garage really quick. You have your bike. You can't really go on your bike whenever you want. You have different characters. You also have the vending machines. Let me go to the break room really quick. You find the vending machines all throughout the game. All throughout the game, you find vending machines. These also act as healing, but they also act as buffs. So purchasing specific things like these will basically increase your boost attacks, but it also fills up your health. Things like that, it boosts your defense, refills your energy and critical rate. I need a few of those. But you find these all throughout the game, and you definitely want to fill up on them because you could run out of actual health. One of the other cool things is if you press and hold the X button, oh, not here, we'll go. You also have the bathroom. If you're a female, you can go in here. If you're male, you can't go in here. And if your sister Akira's following you around, she cannot go in there with you. So one of the dope things about this game is that once you've actually completed the game and completed the main story, you have
Another job well
end game
done.
missions. Olivia basically fills out these missions. So I'll give you a quick rundown of the story before I continue or go on to a mission. One last thing is on your PC, you can change your playstyle, you can change your data. You can go through these logs. I actually never go through these logs, but they're kind of important. Archives. They kind of tell you about the area and information of where you are. But you could change your playstyle. As you can see here, I'm on PT Ultimate. Yeah, and they change the difficulties. You get 2 revival batteries, you get 6 revival batteries, unlimited revival batteries, and you basically get on this guy you get 0. But you can actually take drinks to give you batteries regardless, and you can replay chapters. You can go from all the way. Hold on. You can go all the way to the beginning and redo, and specific things that you didn't finish, you can go back and finish. So, with that out the way, so the story of the game is Yusuf is basically what you call a master villain. Yusuf created the legions, taking over the chimeras, and the chimeras basically he puts them in this room, throws on these cores, and basically locks them within, and that's how legions are recreated. Only a specific amount of people can use legions. Most people that can't use legions, they'll die if they use it immediately. My character, can basically use them with no issues whatsoever. Um, I think now I don't have a recording of that. Hold on a second. Oh, wrong place. Yeah, so this is kind of like a cutscene. Show it real quick. No, that's way too far in the game. I know I have it somewhere. Yeah, so I recorded these little cuts so you can see. Oh, wrong game.
Sent to investigate. I assume the twins are no different.
That will do. Let's consider this their field test.
But sir, we haven't even briefed them on the project.
Never mind that. If they were to fail now, we couldn't use them anyway. Brenda, humankind no longer has any more time to waste on useless formalities.
So that was the first time they were actually introduced. This is an idea of some of the bosses. Yeah, so that's just some of the things you could do in the game. You meet with some of the boss fights are awesome. One of the coolest thing about this game is the music choice. Yeah, so continuing on, you basically get these, and your father gets left behind as you fight these chimeras, and you find out there's a lady named Jean which wants to basically kill Yusuf, but you have no idea what her purpose is. You go on throughout the game, you figure out what's the purpose of that. Your sister gets injured and she becomes one of the Ravens. She loses his. So how you get all your legions is everyone that had a legion. For instance, you also had Jin. You had a few other people that had legions. They lost theirs, but somehow you have the ability to calm all of these legions, and you now take over five of the main legions. The Axe Legion, which is the coolest, is your father's legion. Um, and then the story goes on. You basically find out that Yusuf and other people turned out to be pretty horrible. The story is pretty. If it was down to the story, I would say that the story is about an 8 out of 10, 8.7 out of 10 story wise. And I'll show you guys the combat.
Another job well
I'll run
done.
through a match really quick. Really good fight scene, so you get an idea of the legions and everything. Um, as far as okay, we'll start this case. So what we'll do is we'll do like one or two different cases so you can get an idea of the story. And what I'll do is I'll go back to one of the chapters so you can see the city. Yeah, so you see all these things that's on the floor. They're called corruption cores, if I'm not mistaken. You collect all these cores, and once you collect them, you see this battery thing that's around my character right there, and that it keeps dropping over time. That is basically how long your legion could stay out. If your legion stays out, you basically goes away, and then you have to wait till it comes back. One of the things that they were basically saying, you don't want to see an angry legion if your time runs out, which really isn't a good concept of anything because once the time goes out, the legion just basically goes away, and then time comes back. So I'm gonna pick up all of these real quick, and there we go. We've got some battles. So real quick, the fighting mechanics. We'll go through the controllers real quick. You can switch your legions by pressing the X triangle button. I mean the X button, or you can press and hold the. Actually, it's Y button. Press and hold your Y button to basically switch between your legions, and then you have L buttons that basically call your legions out and make them do specific moves. Like the bow legion, you could basically arrow legion, you can basically use him as like a bow and arrow, and with the arm legion, you could basically use him as an armor and fight once you hit the L button. And I'll show all of that. So real quick, press and hold. It slows down. It basically puts time to a crawl, and you can basically pick through the legion that you want. Same thing with if you hold the X button, you can basically pick through like the items that you want to use. I'm gonna go ahead and throw out a gunner drone. And those are basically things that help you throughout the match. So one of the things you can do is if you can circle your Legion, you basically chain them with your Astral chain, and that little pop-up that you keep seeing around me looks like a star. It's called a sync. And once you do enough syncs, you can basically do like special attacks. You can send your Legion out, or you can make your Legion do abilities by holding the L trigger. And so now he's got these blades around him, and I'll just usually throw him out, and he just basically puts out a crap ton of damage. Yeah. And you got more that come in, so I like the combat style. I'm gonna rub this guy up really quick. Oops. If you do that, you can also chain link or chain attack. So if I get this around more of them, I can attack multiple enemies at once. And you can send out your Legion by either tapping once to bring him back, tapping him again to send him out. You can also pull you once he's out. So as he's out, if I hold that and I press right trigger, he pulls me towards wherever I need to go. So that's used for platforming or used for like combat style. I usually do that when I'm fighting like other key creatures. So I'm gonna do a sync attack, a full sync combo, and finishing move. I'm going to change Legions. So one of the things before I change Legions, I like to keep this, it's called Hit Rush, where you can basically unchain your Legion. He can do as much damage as you want. And while you do that, you can bring out another Legion. Bring out the Arm Legion. And so while that Legion's out doing his special attacks, I can have a second Legion. But that's only for a specific amount of time. If I press L on this Legion, the Beast Legion, I could ride him. You can also still attack while you're riding him. You can jump, dodge, get out the way. I'm going to go to the Arm Legion, and now I'm basically wearing him as an armor. So less damage done to me, and he also does a crap ton of damage. But, as you can see, time runs out on my battery core. If my battery core runs out while I'm in this Legion, and you basically use it more once you actually use the L button. Now if I go to the Sword Legion and hit L, he does what's called a slash. Doesn't work really well. You basically use that for other reasons. If you go to the Arrow Legion and press L, you basically use him as a bow and arrow. You can slow down time, get your headshots, switch your Legion out to somebody else. I'll switch to the Axe Legion, my favorite. He basically creates a shield. So this shield could be broken. He deflects or parries. And as you can see, my time right now, if I press and hold if I just tap the L trigger, he basically brings out a shield, and this shield is unbreakable until that time runs out on my battery core. You press the right bumper, and he basically goes away. So basically, as an example, you can also switch your weapon to a long sword or a heavy sword, or you can switch to a weapon, a gun, and that has its own thing. Switch back to the small baton. So these guys are flying, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock on them and send my Legion out and then throw myself in mid-air to complete combos. That's another way without using your gun, because your gun doesn't do as much damage. It's just for like distance combat. Don't really do much. There's only one attack button, which is your R trigger. With your R trigger though, there's a lot of ways to fight. So for instance, I'm going to show you a different way I fight with just the baton. I'm just going to do a bunch of chain attacks. Send my Legion out. Wrong Legion. Sword. And I'm just going to create a crap ton of damage. Create random sinks. I'm going to chain a bunch of enemies. It all depends on your playstyle. Regardless of just one button, you can do a bunch of damage. And when I'm done, I unleash him. Bring out another Legion. And if you dodge at the right time, let's see if I can get one really quick. Come on, swing at me. Wrong person. So your Legion attacks on his own. One thing I completely forgot to mention, you can control your Legion by pressing and holding the right trigger and using the right stick to basically control him and move him around. So that's also a mechanic that you gotta learn and get used to, because without learning that, because you're basically simultaneously using two characters at the same time. You're changing around the cameras, you're locking on a character, you're changing your Legion, you're throwing him out at random at different enemies, you're tying up specific enemies and doing specific combos, all while dodging other enemies all at the same time. So I'm gonna do a hit rush, I'm gonna let this guy go, and I'm gonna get my Arrow Legion out. Like, there's a lot of enemies in mid-air, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to the Arrow Legion. Alright, let me just pay attention to the fight. I'm over here doing tutorials and all that. I'm gonna take a potion real quick. You have all these things on the floor. Those are all cores. Even if you don't pick them up in the middle of battle, at the end of the match, you still get them back. So I'm just going to use this guy real quick and just rack up some kills. Alright, who's next? Alright, come on, buddy. Come down. Oh, man, this is endless. Alright, let's do... Let's see if I can rope all these guys up, because I don't have that locked in. There we go. Now I can just wail on them. I can unlatch my... You can kind of juggle in mid-air if you know exactly how to fight. Give me some tougher monsters, man. Alright, come here, buddy. And finish off. Before I do that, set him loose. This is not the Axe Legion. So I time all of my sync attacks perfectly so that I could just do more sync damages. There we go. Alright, this guy's being annoying. There we go. So you see my legions down, so time is running out. Send this guy back out. And yeah, so once you send your Legion out, those are called, I think, burst launches. Yeah, so finish quick time, chain binds, multiple chains, backstabs, and I basically finish at a plus S rank, S plus rank. That's the most you can get. So let me go out to. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back a chapter and show you guys the way that the city is. I gotta pick the right chapter though. You also have what's called the Astral Legion, the Astral Plane, and the Astral Plane is by far to me the most repetitive part of the game. You fight some really cool monsters in there, you unlock some pretty cool stuff in there, but I'm not gonna run all the way down there. Well, we'll just show you guys around. If you want to do photography, you take photos. My memory's filled out. You can change. You can change your aperture, all of those things. Zoom. Yeah, so pretty cool. It's a pretty nifty concept to give you more things to do within the game. I wouldn't call it a gimmick because you unlock things by doing it. Let's go down to the main floor. And as you see, Olivia just keeps bringing up more and more and more um, cases for you to complete. Oh, wrong area. Jeez. Hold on. Yeah, around here. So go to
Another
Olivia.
job well
She just
done.
basically keeps giving you cases of clearing out chimeras or corrupted people. So what I'll do is I'll go to the chapter. What I'll do is I'll save first. Whoops. All right. Saving data. Data saved. Whoops. File selection. And let's see. No. We'll go a little further into the game. No, that's the subway. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to find a decent area. No. I think this is the area. Let's go ahead and go. If anyone has any questions, anything they want to ask about the game, let me know. Again, this is a very different type of review. This isn't your conventional 4 to 5 minute review. This is more of an extensive review where you can ask me questions about the game. I absolutely love the game. And at the end, I will give my review score and reasons why I give the score the way it is. I don't want to give any stories away.
You two have been.
No stories. No stories.
Well,
No stories. Okay, no stories.
Jin hasn't changed a bit, has he?
Oh
How long
man,
has it been since we last saw him?
I can't use the
2
PC.
years? I remember
Wrong.
when Dad was in the hospital and Jin came to take care of us.
Shut down.
Wait, do I have all my
His
legions?
cooking wasn't the greatest, but
Oh, you still have all your legions. Because I didn't go back
when
to
you
do
think
any
about
chapters. This will be the
Jin's
first
always
time.
been there for us. We gotta find some way to make it up to him.
We might have to go and change. No stories.
You
No
guys need
stories.
something?
Yeah, we definitely have to change.
Shut down.
So what we'll do is load. I gotta pick the right area for you guys, so you guys can see the city. There's also things you do in the game. You don't just basically go out and fight. You also become so you're a part of a group called. Wow, I have to finish this.
Alicia seems
No.
nice, and she sure seems to get along well with Dad.
Okay.
I mean, the captain. Seeing him here with Jin and Alicia.
This is
it's
an
a
epic
side
fail.
of him I've never seen before. It feels weird.
There you are. Wait.
Oh,
All right.
All right, none of that.
Before we can.
Skip all that. Skip all that.
Great. Looks like it fits.
Skip all that. Go. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
your Legat neuron. And here's. All right.
All right, Iris. Okay, close.
Iris startup.
Iris on.
Shut down.
All right. Let's start with an easy one. Find it okay? All right.
Iris,
Now boot
shut
up the
down.
terminal and try out a training program. It's a
All right, we'll just go
self-guided
through
routine,
a
so you
quick
can
training
skip over
program.
anything you don't think you need to cover.
Iris start. Iris.
Okay, come
Shut
on.
down.
Try out a training.
Everything's already done. Let's do evasion.
All right, let's begin. Try and dodge the enemy attack.
Okay. That easy.
Not bad. Let's try a perfect dodge next. If you pull it off, it'll feel like everything but you has slowed. Take advantage of that. Give it a shot.
All right, come on. Ooh, wow, epic fail. Come on.
Not bad. That's all for this program.
All right, we're done. And training.
That'll do for today.
Okay, got some points. Should be able to go to the... I think the next one is you have to go all out.
Please report.
There we go. Skip. Skip. Oh, yeah, that's right. I haven't been... You haven't... Yeah, you don't get to basically run around the lab with the X button until you meet Lappy. And Lappy basically gives you the tour, and then you could basically speed to different areas. Alright, come on. Excuse me for a sec.
You're late, newbie. Now that everyone's here, let's begin. The police in Central City, in Zone 36, have requested our help with a case.
Skip.
Iris, shut down.
Alright, so run to the roof. I don't want to give any stories away, guys. Apologies. Oh, you have infinite stamina, by the way. No stories. Skip. Alright, so you get an idea of the city that everyone loves to see. You don't see the city as much. You see, I'd say like 30 to 40% of the game, but the rest of the game you see in astral planes, or you're spending it in like the the lower grounds, as you would say. Let's go ahead and skip. Skip. So this is the city, the ruins. Iris on. You could basically be a detective. For right now, I'm going to try to figure out a case.
Information display.
Where is it?
Do you think all these people made it out okay?
Information display.
There's that person over there.
I hope none of these survivors took any corruption home with them. Otherwise, we'll be dealing with a lot of redshift.
Yeah, so redshift is basically people that have corruption. If you have your Legias Legion, he could basically clean that stuff out of them if you see the people just hanging around. So, doing more detective stuff. This is my least favorite part about the game.
Red matter. Solid corruption. It's all around us, and thanks to the Legion, now you can see it. Your Legion can clean it up for you.
Okay. Legion cleaned it up.
Between the size and the red matter, I think we can say this isn't a human handprint.
Okay.
So if it's a Chimera we're after, it's one with giant hands.
Okay. So, we met some people already. We figured out some stuff, investigated. So now, you can also use your Legion to listen in on conversations.
I don't like it, man. I mean, who do they think they are, barging in on our scene like that?
Shh, keep your voice down. It's those guys, right? From the basement at HQ? What they call it? Neutron or something? Nerd, that's it.
Never heard of them. Whoever they
Well, you get all these datas, all these information, and at the end, you basically meet up with your sister. So,
Think you got enough clues yet? Come on back and let's talk them out.
all right, let's go.
There you are. Looks like you've gathered plenty of information. Investigative ability is important, even for Neuron. So don't expect me to go easy on. What can you tell me about the physical characteristics of the Chimera that caused this mess?
He's got giant hands.
That's right. I know you saw that great big... So why'd the Chimera come here? Sightseeing? Or do you have a better guess? Right. People don't just get sucked into gates all on their own. That's a Chimera's job. So that's everything we know. There's no doubt we're dealing with a Chimera here. A Chimera with...
I'm just skipping through the story so you guys can get the idea.
Finding those tracks is your job. Got it? You remember the giant handprint you found? Go see if your Legion can find anything over there.
Alright, skip that.
Use your Legion to look around that giant handprint. Something ought to turn up.
Yeah,
You've
so
got the
now
trail.
you got to keep
Now
your Legion
follow
out, and because if you put your Legion away, you can't follow it anymore.
Check this out.
Alright.
Alright, looks like we'll have to split up.
Yeah, so if you put your Legion away, he's not going to find anything. There's the corruption is not going to be, you're not going to be able to continue the trail. One of the cool things about some of the Legions is you find these chests all around, then you unlock stuff.
Hey, if we find that Chimera, let's take it out ourselves. That'll show Dad. You should be able to squeeze through there if you crouch.
I shouldn't worry about cleaning those up right now. There we go. And you get to see a mini boss fight.
A Chimera! Look at its hands! That's gotta be the one we're after.
Not necessarily.
Those guys have no idea what they're in for.
Come on.
We gotta take it down before someone gets hurt.
What the hell is that thing?
Wait, how come they can see the Chimera? Their corrosion levels are super high. Is that why they can see it? Hey, look!
Yeah.
Redshift.
Yeah, with too much corruption,
No
these
time to
monsters
lose.
could turn into,
We've gotta do
I mean,
something
people
about
could
this
turn
now.
into these little creatures. I wouldn't really call them Chimera. I would call them like mini soldiers. I think there's a name for them, but I completely forgot. Oh man, come on, come on, come on. I'm getting owned here. Come on. Oh, they only let me have this guy? Okay, yeah, they let me have both. All of them. Throw this guy on like armor and give him like a quick attack. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that move right there. Once you do that, you pull the core out. Yeah.
Well, we got the Chimera.
Once you do a finishing move and you pull the core out and you time it properly, you can fill your health bar all the way up.
A gate just opened up not far from you two.
We've notified the...
Alright, I
Roger
guess they're
that.
gonna let us go in the Astral plane
Hold
really
up.
quick.
We
Iris,
can't leave that
start
gate
up.
wide open
Iris,
like that.
shut down.
Let's try it out.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, 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 I know. If you see these gates around, things could come out. So what you want to do is just close them, just wrap it up, and it breaks. Simple.
There. That is one less gate for the Chimeras to come through. Okay, back to the search.
Alright. Where do we go again? Iris. Follow the Chimera. Where am I going again? that. Follow the Chimera
Information
Trail.
display.
Where is the Chimera Trail? There goes the matter. Let's go around here real quick. I know there's stuff I'm not picking up right now, but I'm not trying to finish this map.
Iris,
Yeah, there we
shut
go.
down.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, hold up. No, don't hang up, idiot.
Hey, I know you're busy, but see that guy over there? He's got a warrant out for him. Do you think you could find out what he's talking about?
Iris, startup.
Okay, am I far enough? Hello? I'm far enough. Hold L. Okay.
Information display. Iris, shut down. Iris, startup.
Definitely a fail here.
Information display.
Eavesdrop. I know how to eavesdrop. I've done it before. It's just not letting me.
Iris, shut down.
Suspicious man. Get close. No?
Iris, startup.
Alright. This is definitely an epic fail. But you guys get the concept of the game. Let's see here. Let's see if it lets me do it again. Eavesdrop. Maybe I gotta go further away. As far as my Legion's gonna let me go.
Iris, startup.
No? I think I met a glitch of the game, people.
Information display. Iris, shut down.
Nope. Put my Legion
Iris,
away.
startup.
Send my Legion out. No? No? No whatsoever? No? Guys, I'm at the first bug of the game.
Iris,
Okay.
shut down.
Okay. Abort file options. That's fine. I'll take the C. Expert Plus. Yeah. So you unlock Master if you go further throughout the game. And again, you see all these things you unlock. You also unlock the amount of money you make based on the things you do. Go to File Select. Temporarily return everything in. Uprising. Return to File 12. But that's all there is to the game. There's a lot more based on story-wise, based on mechanics, unlocking things, finding different things to do, going through the astral chain. The astral plane. I think she has
Another
an
job well
astral plane case for me, so you guys can see what the astral plane looks like. I think I've already done that one. I wish I would tell you where the areas are. There we go. We got one right here with an astral plane. We'll go in there real quick. And I'm going to end it off with that and give my review score. Can't believe I just found my first bug of the game. That's funny. Okay, so this is the astral plane. They all kind of look like this. There's different things you could do within the astral planes, unlocking specific areas to go different areas. And pay attention to these. If you turn on Iris, you could find out there are chests on the floor everywhere. Okay. And like I was saying, like since you, let's say if you wanted to get from one area to another and you couldn't make it over, you would have your, well, that's a fail. But you can never fall all the way down because you do what's called your Legion will pull you back up. I guess it's not a flat area. Hold on, let me look around. Gotta be something over here. And as you can see, I'm gaining 1 bar of health every so-called first. Oh, they won't let me go over there. Okay. I guess we're gonna go into a fight. Neutralize the threat. As if you guys haven't seen enough fighting as it is. The easiest way to knock these guys all out. Just turn on my blade. Sometimes you can just let your Legion go do his own thing. Ooh, okay. More just keep popping. Oh my god! Dodge out the wrong way. Oh man, okay. This is definitely gonna be fun. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need that for health. Take that. Somebody's dropping a bunch of stuff. Couldn't see where that's coming from. Oh, it's this guy here. Okay, this dude's a problem. That. Alright, you come out. Let's do this howl real quick. Yeah. Yep, he's gonna get me. Almost had me. Take something heavier. It's time to take on my favorite. Come on, time. There we go. This is gonna be tough. Oh, guys, you get to see me struggle. Yeah, this endgame stuff ain't easy, man. Okay. want this guy gone. Come on. Ah, yeah, there we go. Damn, I didn't get to consume him. Alright. Come on. Okay. Woo! Oh, he's got me. Damn, he got me right there. Uh, okay. Take a bit of soup. Oh man, he is getting me with those. That is very annoying. He got me. Got one battery. Okay, let's see what I can do. If I can make a comeback. Wow. Really? And that is... Yes. Let's see what I score on this one. Ah, I did everything I needed to do. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and give my final, rundown of everything. So far, the game, well, so far I've completed the game, and there's still a lot more to do. There's a lot more challenging things to like get you excited for to continue playing. If you love the art style, if you love the combat, if you love just the way the game is, you could still max your legions out by getting specific cards, your platinum, I mean your premium cores. So I think the game has a lot to offer for people that want to keep coming back on upgrading your Legion, going back and refinishing up some of the files that you want to do to continue play the game. I like the story. The story had some things that I wish that they would have answered, and for spoiler reasons, I'm not going to leak. But is this a game to pick up? Yes. What do I give the game review score? A 9.2 out of 10. The only reason I don't give this game a 10 is because I'm not a fan of the detective stuff. And while some people say it's optional, the detective stuff is needed for points, to unlock different premium cards and just end game stuff and getting money to buy more things throughout the game. So I feel that it's a necessity to do. It's something that everyone should do. I like the legions. I like unlocking some of the legion stuff. I like figuring out the legion's fighting style. And based on when you unlock a legion, you can go back to the training ground and perfect specific things that they could do to make your legion, to make you more accustomed, used to your legion. And going back to figure out different fights, the game just has a lot to do. Usually, once I'm done beating a game, unless it's a hardcore RPG like a Final Fantasy, and I need to go back and find like Pandora's armor or something, or Pandora's box, I will go back and play. This is probably the only game that I will go back and play to unlock all my legions abilities and upgrade my character 100% and try to figure out how to unlock the other things to for customizing your character. But again, thank you for coming on to the Final Dash podcast channel. Hit like, subscribe, and comment, and thank you for coming through. If you like this style of RP reviews, let me know in the comment section as well. We will not grow unless you like, subscribe, comment, and share. The way YouTube's algorithm is, they will not basically put me in the limelight for more people to see unless you hit the like button, unless you share, unless you retweet and things like that. Um, Stay tuned for this week coming up this Saturday. We got one or two more videos coming out, and then we've got the weekly Nintendo Roundup with Takun this Saturday night, Friday night, I mean, and then this Saturday we're gonna do a podcast. We're trying to give you guys as much content as possible. Baron's gonna find his way to come through when he's not arguing with people on his channel about this game being the best game. One of the things he said is the most graphical game this year, and I got to give it to him for that. This game is one of the most graphical games. Now, what makes a game graphical? Art design, not necessarily resolution or anything like that, but that's more for a later discussion. As always, like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for coming through, everybody. This is your boy, Dark Cloud Sun. I'm out.